Hey guys, alright, so we're going to watch this thing together. So this is going to be kind of a long video, as you can already tell. I think it's like 45-50 minutes long. But let's minimize that so we can get a nice steady video here first off. My goodness. So as you can tell, I'm doing an entire operations on the entire layout. So this is going to be like, get your coffee, get your favorite drink, you know, sit down with some popcorn. And we're going to watch this thing together. And there's a couple of screw-ups in it. And I thought I'd just leave it in and, you know, show you what it is really like to do an operations video and post it on YouTube, because it's not that easy. So, all right, let's join the train over here. We left the yard and we're heading over to, what is it? Santa Fe Springs. And so actually we're going to skip the first car and actually, at least on the list that I have here, the manifest, we were supposed to pick up a hopper over at Southern Wine and Spirits, but I decided to do that car last because it's a facing spur, right? And so when we're coming back this way, we could just back in to there and pick that car up. So the first thing we're actually going to be doing here is picking up that tanker car there at United Polymers. So easy enough. We're going to be backing in, grabbing that car, and then once we get it out of there, the next thing we're doing is heading over to Shasta Beverage, and we're going to be picking up a box car there, the one all the way in the back right there underneath my armpit. And then we're going to be replacing it with what is it, a 60-foot T-box. I think the one that's right in front of the engine there. So screwing around there with my couplers there. I had a little couple issues with the actual couplers and the magnets on the layout, which you'll see here. But for the most part, I think that there was only one that worked correctly. I'm not completely sold on the magnets so far. They're sort of convenient in some of the places, like the one right there in the, you know, at the bottom of the screen there that runs on the spur going into Shasta Beverage. That one works fine. The one that runs into Sanford and Sons Salvage works fine. But some of the other ones, it's like they don't really work. You know, you've got to get, I guess you really have to have the couplers, like, you know, smooth as silk kind of thing, and you know, to get them to work. And the magnets have to be very precise and whatnot. And even just the angle of the car, I know they're on a straightaway, but even just the slightest angle of the individual cars, like I have some cars that actually work pretty good on the magnets and some that don't. And you know, so I don't know, they're okay. I find them handy sometimes when I'm you know, I'm not actually decoupling, but I get over the magnet, and then I can use my, you know, little stick, and it makes it very easy to decouple right there. So, you know, it's okay. All right, so we've pulled out our tanker car. We've run across the street here. There was their big hairy arm conductors switching the turnout, and we're gonna now back up with that car, and this is the one that we're gonna be dropping off over at Shasta Beverage. Coming across the street here, and so far so good. We're gonna move this car, do our run around here. If you watched my update, this is where I kind of wanted, the camera almost fell over right there. I started screwing with the camera and the tripod almost fell down with my camera. So there's goof number whatever, 1, I guess, for this video. But yeah, right that little section right there, right ahead of where we left all of the train, I'm thinking about putting that turnout. I'm thinking about adding a turnout there so that I don't actually have to cross the street. I can get right up to the street and then back up, even with one car or something like that, to come service Shasta Beverage down here, and also Royal plywood. So we're switching out. The conductor has run out over there. He's switched the turnout so we can back up here. And then I think I'm looking at the plan ahead of this to see what I'm going to be doing. And I actually went a little bit too far right there, trying to adjust the camera once again. I didn't have to go all that way. I needed to do the turnout going down to the lower part of the track, or I guess the inside part of the track. There we go. I'm like confused. I'm like, what? What did I do? All right. Forward we go. All right. So as we head down into, I guess it's the inside half of the layout there is considered to be Cerritos. You can see some of the grass right there. I've started adding a little bit more grass along the edge, and a couple other spots in the layout there, which you'll see later on in the video. I did that last night. That's just the first pass, and it's just the little kind of foam, whatever, grass there. Managed to clean it up a little bit, although I did not vacuum it yet, so it might look a little rough. Especially on the other side of the layout, because at least this one was on the edge, so I was able to just sort of sweep it out and blow it out a little bit and capture the rest for reuse. A big hairy ape arm right there, conductor, switching our track. Alright, so the plan here is we got to get that yellow rail box car out and replace it with this brown T-box, right? And currently I'm thinking, well, let's see, do I want to just grab all of them, drop the rail box off on the incoming spur, and then just put all three of them back kind of in the order that I've got them right now? But I end up deciding, I think I'm going to just, we're going to spot the boxcar in the same spot that the rail boxcar is right now. So we're gonna pull them all out, drop the rail boxcar off on the incoming spur, along with the tanker and the hopper, and then we'll spot the T-box car where it's supposed to go at that farthest spot, and then we'll grab the tanker and hopper again and get them going, put them in their proper spots there. For JMRI, I haven't actually set up the individual spots, but I think that's what I'm going to be doing here. Now, there's a little bit of a freak out right here. Not too much. If you look at that block of wood right in the back, keep an eye on that thing as we come back around to it here. We've got a little bit of wildlife apparently in Southern California. If you're familiar with Southern California, it's a semi-arid desert climate, so sort of Mediterranean climate. But all of Southern California is considered a semi-arid desert. We have lots of spiders. So yeah, I'll just give you that as a little hint as to what's going to happen here in a minute. All right, so let's get rid of our pickup there and the tanker and hopper. And I'm trying to kind of, I was going to try to push them all the way out, but I decided to just go this far because it's straight enough track right there, and of course I'm still having trouble with my little pick there to undo the coupler. I believe those are all Katy couplers on both the tanker and the new boxcar there. But occasionally, I think if you don't take up the slack, you gotta get it in just right to get it decoupled. All right, so let's let the conductor swap that over. We start heading backwards here. Keep an eye on that wood right there. Oh, maybe it's in another minute here. Yeah, you can see I'm over the magnet right now, and it actually didn't decouple correctly. But see, that's a lot easier when it is on there. Am I on the magnet? No, I'm not. Sorry about that. I thought it was on the magnet there. It's even hard for me to see when I'm looking at it. Yeah, so now we're going to grab our tanker car and hopper and push those along with the box car. So for this video, I didn't do a ton of editing. I cut out just a few little scenes, but for the most part, I kind of left in everything. So you can really see sort of what it's like when I'm doing operations, you know. Granted, I'm, you know, playing around with the video camera, which is my phone, and the tripod and all that kind of stuff, but I wanted to leave in all of the, you know, here, all the little details where I'm, you know, trying to switch out cars and, you know, actually switching. Oh, there's our spider. Look at that guy. I guess in HO scale, that dude's probably about as big as, what? Like a truck tire or something like that, right? I think you're going to hear a little bump here because apparently a big pile of plywood fell on him here, and that was me taking care of him. So he is now permanent resident there at the Royal Plywood. And yeah, here's where I start messing with the magnets. This is it. So you could see that between the tanker and the hopper, I was actually stopped right there. Had a little trouble connecting the boxcar initially, so I was just going to fat finger it with my big hairy arm. And I happened to stop with the magnet underneath the, or between the tanker and hopper, and then they disconnected, so I had to reconnect them. And now I think, yeah, I'm disconnected here because it did work there just like it's supposed to, right? So the engine is disconnected from the tanker car there. The interesting thing is here, this little section of track has just the slightest bit of slope downward, and so you can see the car's kind of progressing a little bit ahead of the engine. That's because they're actually like going downhill a little bit, but it worked out in the end here. And I'm like, am I connected or not? Yeah, I actually think it was kind of funny because they were kind of bouncing back and forth going down the hill. The tanker actually reconnected to the engine. So I'm not sure if that's real life, but I guess the conductor also has to kill the giant, you know, 4-foot wide spiders too. All right, well, so there's a switch out number 1 done. I'm gonna move my phone here, it keeps beeping on me. All right, let's go grab that rail box car, and our next stop after this is over at Stanton at Sanford and Sons Salvage. And what we're going to be doing over there, we're going to be picking up a box car, and then we're going to be dropping off the gondola, the, what is it, North and Western there, or Norfolk and Western N&W. That's the only old car I have on the layout, actually. If you saw my other video, I said I got rid of all the old cars. I meant the box cars and the tankers, but I still have that. I have that old gondola because I do have 3 new gondolas coming up in the mail. They're brand new Walters railgons, so they're gonna replace that that little old gondola, and we should be good. But I think the plan is here we're going to disconnect, or we're going to connect up to the back of the train. We're going to disconnect at the gondola, right, taking up some slack there, and then we're going to run around the center beam car there, and I think there was one other one in front of it, I can't remember, and head over to Stanton to do the pickup and drop off. Well, again, I got to get all the way to the end over here to do the runaround. And I'm not sure if having a crossover there, sort of in front of the. I guess I'm in the way. I'm not sure, but in front of the center beam car there, or ahead of it here, is where I want to do my crossover. I guess in this instance it wouldn't have helped because you know, we've got such a long train here. But a lot of times when I'm just switching out like one or two cars, very often I find that I think the runaround is a little bit too long for my average cars, and I think this train started out at 5 cars. I've run it all the way up to I think 10 cars. Back when I had the older box cars on the layout, I had quite a bit of cars. I think I got rid of like 12 of them or something like that, and I've only replaced them with I think 4 or something, 3 or 4 cars, maybe 5 cars. So had a lot more cars in the past. My goodness, that's loud. I have my volume turned down over here as we're watching the video, and it's still loud. But yeah, I think a turnout back over there would be nice. So crossing over the street, we're now in technically Stanton. That big open field right there is eventually going to be developed, kind of in between the palm trees and next to the street. I went a little bit too far right there, and so the conductor had to push the train back with his big ape arm. But yeah, I'm going to develop that area, and the plan is to have like an In-N-Out burger or something along those lines in that spot right next to the street. And then this obviously is going to be Sanford & Sons salvage. I'm really thinking of putting a backdrop right here too. When I first started the layout, that's what the plan was, to actually do a backdrop right here. And then I thought, well, I kind of sometimes like to be on the other side, but I'm finding I'm never really doing that. And I think the background here, you don't have to look at my toolbox and storage of stuff. Alright, so there's our Santa Fe car, boxcar. That's one we're picking up. We're going to back up here, and of course we get into our street here again. And this is where I found, I think when I initially did the layout, I had something like 6 or 7 streets planned. And I realized that on the size layout here, just doing switching like this, I would be running across streets pretty much constantly. And so I whittled it all the way down to just that one street. That's the only street that's going to cross the layout, and then all of the other streets will be sort of well, imaginary on the inside, or at least they will be on the, you know, off layout. So now we drop our boxcar off, and now we're going to back up again, and then go ahead and spot our last remaining old car on the layout, that black gondola over at Sanford & Sons. And this is the magnet there that actually works. I don't think I use it at this point, but most of the time when I'm running, operations, I try to see how the magnets are working, and that one there is one of the ones that actually works pretty good. But at the time of filming this, which was just this morning, look at this. They don't mind the dog hair. I have a dog. He's a corgi. They shed a lot. But yeah, at the time of filming this, I was just like, let's just keep going here. Screw the magnets. And it's interesting, you know, I mean, I do have another YouTube channel. I actually have a couple where I do some totally different things. And and doing them live actually. So, you know, I'm accustomed to it, but trying to actually film, you know, off site like this. So one of my other channels is a flight simulation channel. So it's me sitting here just like this, and I'm doing flight sims. So it's a little bit different when you're recording just the screen on a computer, as opposed to actually having to run a camera and a tripod and everything else. So I'm a little flustered here. I want everything to go good for this big operations video that I promised everybody. And so I'm totally forgetting to do like magnets and the correct signals and everything like that. It's a little funny here. All right, so we dropped off we picked up our boxcar, we dropped off our gondola. Now we just got to put the train back together over here and then head out to Westminster. We're going to be switching out a boxcar at Southern California Edison, and then switching out one of our new boxcars, that one right there ahead of the tanker. That one's going into terrazzo and marble. And so now I've got all these cars all over the place, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what the heck I'm going to do. I think I changed my mind here. So I'm figuring, okay, let's go backwards here and then drop off the, well, let's see what I do. Let me see. Yeah, I thought I was going to drop, yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. That's why I'm a little confused right there. So I thought I was going to drop the rail box car off and then push this thing forward, but then it's like, wait a minute, I need to have that center beam car to go to the lumber yard at the end. So now I'm like, wait a minute. You know, the people on the street are getting pissed because you know, it's closed. My cars are there. Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing here. So I finally figure out, wait a minute, let's do this the other way around. So I'm going to pick up the boxcar and the center beam, right? I'm going to disconnect the cars ahead of me, right? And then we're going to run around with those two, pick up the rest of the cars, and then get on our way heading towards Westminster and Huntington Beach. As I still try to work the camera too here. And so the spider there is actually squished by one of those pieces of wood. You can use a quick one there. I guess in scale, like I was saying, in HO scale, that spider must have been like the size of a truck tire. And he must have been running like 100 miles an hour across the top of that wood there. Alright. Now I'm like, let's give it the gas here. Let's get going. And I'm trying to stay sort of prototypical speeds and whatnot. So if it's a little bit too fast, don't worry. I'm kind of just getting rushed. But if it's a little bit too slow, you might think. Well, that's because I'm trying to kind of do it as prototypically as I could. And that's why you can see that, you know, I'm stopping before I'm having the conductor switch the turnouts. Here I'm trying to do the proper maneuver across the road with the, you know, with the horn and everything like that. I want to get it as realistically do it as I can, if that makes sense. As a matter of fact, you know, I'll do a little shout out right here. There's one YouTuber that I really like watching, because he's sort of he has a layout a lot similar to mine, and his philosophy I think is a lot of the same. We sort of follow Lance Mintine's sort of way of doing it, where we want to slow down. We want to, it's not a race to go here and do the switching and everything. It's supposed to be fun, but we want to try to do it as prototypically as we can. And so, you're doing the slow maneuvers. You're stopping and you're making believe that the conductor gets off the train and walks over to the turnout and has to switch it. So this YouTuber, I think his name is Eric Miller, I believe. I'll put a link to his page in the description of this video, so you can go check him out if you don't already watch him. And he does regular updates. I think he just did one, I think yesterday or this morning. I can't remember. I think it was yesterday. But really enjoy his videos too, because he does videos like this, and real informational videos too on his planning for the way he does his layout. All right, so we've made it past Stanton. We're heading into what is it, Westminster here. Don't mind the grass, like I said, the little foamy grass there. These are little spots there. I put some glue down yesterday and then added in the grass. And I haven't been able to vacuum it up here. I wanted to do this video before it got too hot again here in Southern California. And so I managed to clean up the other side of the layout, but not over here. So there's not really that much grass there. That's got to get cleaned up a little bit. All right, screwing around with the camera here, trying to get the back of the train just to make sure we've got plenty of room to run around it here. And we're going to be picking up a boxcar, that blue one there that's sitting inside the box there underneath my elbow right now. We're going to go ahead and pick that guy up. And then the little aqua colored one here at the right of the screen here, that's the one we're going to be dropping off at the Terrazzo and Marble place, which is the big white building there in the background. Alright, so here I'm doing the runaround. We've dropped all our cars off on, well, technically the main, main line there. But since it is an actual dead-end spur, it does end all the way at the end there. We're the only train on it, so we're not blocking anybody. And here's an example of that, trying to be realistic. So I stop there. Conductor goes out, swaps the turnout over. I think we get our bell going here, just because we're entering the facility here for Southern California Edison, and there's a lot of workers and stuff like that. Here I'm starting to think, uh-oh, I got all that foamy grass everywhere. I hope I don't. I hope the train doesn't lose power here. And I think I almost dropped the camera again right here. Yeah, that turnout's a little funky right there. I still got to work on that. Once I get over here to do a little bit more work on Southern California Edison, we're going to put some styrene and make that turnout right there look a little bit decent. And if you saw my other update, I'm thinking of doing another turnout like right there, right where the train is now, to the right. It'll run around, sort of right around the edge there between the paved area and the brown dirt, maybe around to the side of the building there. That way, if I wanted, or at this point here, we're only picking up a car, but if I was to switch out a car, I could pull all the way back with one car, come in here, drop that car off, on that additional spur to the right of where we're at right now, and then, pick this guy up and do the switching there. At least that's my thinking here. Hopefully I'm still on camera. I'm like slouching down here as I'm watching my own video. Yeah, there goes the camera. Whoops. Oh. I literally have this little tripod that I had since I was like 10 or something. That I think my parents bought me when I was at Kmart, literally when I was like 10, and that was like 40 something years ago. And so it's a little wonky, and I've got a little sort of, I don't know, a little stand thing on it that's screwed onto it that I rest my phone on, and that's how I'm actually doing the recording. Alright, so Southern California Edison is done. Now we're going to run back around the train here, connect up to it, disconnect, I believe, at the between that UP boxcar and the SRY, which is, I think, a Canadian badged car, which I know this is Southern California, but you do find some of those cars around here. They make their way around. And we're going to be dropping that green car. I'm going to call it green because it's not blue like the one I'm pulling right there. And we're going to be dropping that one off at the marble place. And there I am screwing around with the camera again, trying to get a good shot, and just making sure we get coupled correctly right there. The tanker car there tends to have the couplers a little bit low, and I think I gotta work on those to get them in the correct position. And here I am having trouble just decoupling these guys right here. And like I said, I think I have all Katy couplers. I know there's a couple of box cars in that new one right there, that 511, the UP car, I think may still have the original couplers that it came with and not the Katys. And I use, what is it, 148s, I believe. Or actually, you know, we're not picking up any cars right here. We're just dropping that one off. Yeah, there's a flat car there, and there's the brown box car, and we're actually just dropping this one off. There are spots for 3 cars here, and I know I've got the flat car over here because it's a marble place, right? But I think I'm going to remove that from servicing this spot here, just because it's I don't have the facade isn't really made for a flat car, right? It's made for a box car. So I think I'm only going to have box cars servicing this industry, and then yeah, move the camera, dummy. And then have the flat car servicing like the Royal Plywood maybe, and even the junkyard, or the Sanford and Son salvage, and then the lumber yard also. Yeah, I got UP 9611511, whatever. He's going over here to Surfers Outlet. Yeah, 9611511. All right, so we're going to push into Surfers Outlet here. We are picking up that box car. That's 30346. The graffiti actually covers the number on this side of the car. But we're going to pull that guy out and then just drop him off on the dead end main line. You see, by now I'm just like, just hook up already. My goodness. It's starting to get a little bit warm. Even though I filmed this morning and the first thing in the morning, it was still pretty humid here. I guess there's a tropical storm or something that went through, Mexico, and so we get we get some of the remnants of it, which basically the only thing we get is it gets humid here in Southern California, and you have a little bit of high clouds, maybe some thunderstorms over the mountains and things like that. But for the most part, that's all we get when we get tropical storms running into like Baja. All right, so we've picked up our graffiti-covered boxcar here. We're going to drop him off. And then I think all we have to do is spot that brown UP 60-foot boxcar over at Surfer's Outlet. And then we've got that center beam flat car that's going to go over to Reliable Lumber. Yeah, don't mind the big furry ape arm here. Again, struggling with the connector there, or with the couplers. And actually, I think I instead of putting the engine in reverse, I went forward and recoupled it. All right, only, well, 2 more cars here to play with on this side of the layout. So one of the things that I didn't mention, or I might have mentioned, there's a hopper back at Southern Wine and Spirits. Yeah, I did mention it. Back in Santa Fe Springs. And we're going to pick up that hopper on the way out. Alright, so just spotting this one over here at Surfer's Outlet. And then we'll grab our center beam car that's going to go over to the lumber yard. Unfortunately, I don't have enough room there at the end of the main line to fit the cars in, so we're going to have to grab all the, up to the center beam car and then go back out and come back around to make it to the spur there on the right. I think I'm looking at this point, we're going slow because I'm looking at the clipboard going, how much more of this do I got to do? What's next? Alright, taking up the slack there. Like I said before, I find that taking up the slack does help getting that the cars decoupled there. By the way, the little black thing that I'm using, I know people use like different skewers and things like that. That is actually the little thing that comes when you buy a soldering iron. You know, so if you ever go to like one of the hardware stores, get the soldering iron, just the basic one. A lot of times it comes with that little stick. And I don't even know what it's called, and I'm not quite sure what you're supposed to use it for, other than maybe, helping you solder kind of thing. But it's got a nice point to it, and so that I found actually works real nice at decoupling. I'm afraid to screw it up, but I might flatten it just a little tiny bit with some sandpaper or something. And also the handle on it is like squared off. It's like a octagon or whatever you want to call it. There's like 6 sides to it or something. And so it's nice because when I'm not using it, it doesn't roll away. So if I put it down on the layout or on a shelf or something like that on top of, like right here, it stays put. Here I am screwing with the camera again and didn't realize that it's out of focus, but don't worry, it comes back into focus here in a sec. We're like literally on the home stretch here almost. Just got to drop that center beam car off, pick up our pickups that we left right there to underneath me on the main line, and then we'll head back out, pick that one car up over at Southern Wine and Spirits, the hopper, and we're done. Oh my goodness, what could possibly go wrong, huh? And there again, I'm kind of taking up the slack there, so I can get the little, I don't know what we want to call it, the poker into there. And I am over the magnet, and you can see that one kind of worked. I had to actually go in there and actually screw around with it. Sometimes that magnet right there works pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't, but it does help, like I said, if just to disconnect them really quick. And then I'm able to push that car back and then go forward again. You know, because the couplers are offset against each other. Alright, our work at Huntington Beach here is almost done. I guess they could have waited there a little bit longer if we're trying to be realistic. I don't know if the conductor would have been riding on the back of the train right there. Maybe that's where he was. He was on the back of that car. And just making sure I'm coupled up here. Actually, I think I had a little bit of a problem there. There we go. Nope, it decoupled. Back it, ram it into there really good. Right, I think these box cars are empty. We're not going to damage anything. And we're going to stop over here, let the conductor switch back to the main line. Then he's got to run all the way up to the engine, I guess. Alright, I get a little bit of a breather here, and by now I've like, let's just move the camera. I got to reposition here. This is where I said I try not to cut a whole bunch of stuff out. The way the layout's set up, it's actually pretty decent for just stopping and moving the camera just a little bit, you know, a foot or two over. But I had to go from one end to the other over here. And I didn't want to stop, so I just let it film. Alright, I've got like get home-itis here now. We're almost done. Trying to do a nice shot here. I'm zooming in. And if you notice there, I've got some street signs up at Royal Plywood. And I don't mind a little buckling on this street there. I talked about that on my last update there. Now, one of the things I got to work on though is my my backdrops. I think doing getting the backdrops done will add quite a bit. And whoops, what could possibly go wrong? We are almost done. Are you kidding me? Like I said, those couplers on that car ride a little bit low, and even though I think I bent them, bent the little, hoses. Oops, now I'm totally so flustered here. Look at this. So trying to deal with that derailed car, I neglected to change the turnout right there, and I actually did it already right there, but yeah, didn't switch the turnout and shorted out the train. That's why I have the Three Stooges on the on the video here. It's like the Three Stooges switching operations. Oh my goodness, let's see if we can get this done already. Alright, one more hopper, and then let's get home. We've had spiders, we've had falling cameras, we've had derailments, and short circuits. I think from now on, what I'm going to do is do a little bit shorter videos on operations. It's just a little tiny bit. I think that'll make it a little bit less stressful. Not that this was stressful, but and I know this video is long. Here we go again. What could possibly go wrong? So grabbing that car, I'm right over the magnet, and my cars decouple. And because that tanker car couplers are a little wonky, it didn't want to grab. Alright. Finally got it hooked up, and let's get out of Dodge. Let's go home. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a little bit more focused operations video. I wanted to do this one, and I wanted to show you the entire layout operation. I know this video is a little bit longer than you might have even sat through, but some people like to watch the longer videos. And I wanted to actually show you what switching the entire layout is like, and really how long it takes. And that's why I didn't do a lot of editing. Here we go. We're finally into the yard. Thank goodness. I was just waiting for like the train to, I don't know, fall over coming across the bridge. But I wanted to have a video up where I showed the entire layout getting switched out. And that's kind of about how long it takes. 45 minutes or so, 50 minutes, switching out, the entire thing. I mean, granted, I kind of played around with, had to move the camera around here and there, but that didn't add that much time, except for one spot there. I can't remember where, and I did edit that out. Because I sat there for like 5 minutes. Actually, I think it was this. It was this shot right here. Trying to get this shot between the last shot and when we came over to this one. That's like 5 or 10 minutes of me screwing around with the camera and trying to get the correct lighting and whatnot. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and all that good stuff. Hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, that's me switching out the entire layout. Till next time, take care.